Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome in to another episode of Free Refill on Prime Time with Taff and Phil. And wherever you may be watching, whether it's YouTube or on Twitch, or I don't know, somehow you're in the room watching me right now. I thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Free Refill. The last episode of Free Refill for 2025 in 3 days time. Well, actually more of like 2 days and 5 hours, because it's 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time here as this episode streamed. So it's gonna be the last big episode of Free Refill, which is kind of crazy. We've already done 31 episodes of this. We've had nearly 60 total episodes of Primetime Taff and Phil since it's last year, like a half ago. It's been pretty crazy to see changes gone as been developed over time. And speaking of development, I have an interesting format to try just before we get into the new year. I've got a lot of things that I want to talk about, but I do want to say I got mad things to say. Let's start with the first thing. I am going to keep looking. I got goals set for this year. With the new year in mind, I have some massive goals in mind for the channel. I won't reveal them. I won't reveal them until the beginning of the next new year. So that's probably going to have to be something you'll have to tune in for, something that you guys are excited for and looking forward to seeing. Today, I just got a lot of things to go over. I did not have the greatest of Sundays. I can imagine a lot of people who were wearing the same logo as me didn't very much enjoy their Sunday based on what they had seen. I'll be getting into that, as well as a couple other headlines that intrigued me about this weekend and things I want to get into. I'll also be talking about Monday Night Football game tonight, which will conclude Week 17. That'll be the Falcons hosting the Rams. And then the last section, however much time there is left within the hour, I figured we'd leave to kind of a free realm sort of thing. But I did want to get into some hard-hitting fastball questions right away before I get into anything. Joining me in the box of shame is not one but two familiar faces who have definitely been in there. I know one of them has. I don't know if the other one has yet this year. But after that miserable display in both Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin, probably Arthur Smith should be somewhere in there too. Maybe even the Rooney family for just accepting this level of mediocrity. I think they all need to be sitting there comfortably in the box of shame. But without any further ado, I just kind of want to get into it, rip off these topics, run through it, and finish the 2025. I was about to say finish the new year, but finish off 2025 strong. It's not like it's still going on, but a lot of big stuff. So figured we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna be able to kill it at least the final Free Refill 2025. Let's just jump right in. The first major thing that needs to be talked about is good. Okay. One of the biggest choke jobs of a division. Listen, there have been big choke jobs. That one just absolutely brought me to my knees. It made me barely feel. I felt so many emotions. I felt frustration, pretty much. Actually, no. I take it back. I didn't feel that many emotions. I felt one emotion, and it was pissed offness. I was incredibly agitated, and I'm going to say it right now, point blank, plain and simple. The Pittsburgh Steelers do not deserve to win this division, and Mike Tomlin has constantly, at every single turn, at every single opportunity, has found a way to disappoint with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This team had a massive lead in the beginning of the year. They were 4-2. Baltimore started 1-5. We knew Cleveland was going to be bad. We knew Cincinnati would struggle with Joe Burrow being out for them. And even then, it came to both Pittsburgh and Baltimore being at 6-6, and Pittsburgh beats Baltimore and goes on to win their next two. And Baltimore drops a game to the New England Patriots. And all Pittsburgh has to do to clinch the AFC North, to clinch a home playoff game, is to beat the 3-12 Cleveland Browns, who are starting rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders, who have been awful all year, who just lost their stud rookie running back to a significant leg injury. and they couldn't put up anything. They struggled to move the ball all game until the final drive. They looked like there was no game plan other than stop Myles Garrett from breaking the sack record. It looked like there was no plan in place for the Pittsburgh Steelers to win against the Cleveland Browns. And right now, and why do I say this? I say that they shouldn't win the division because Baltimore, against Green Bay, without knowing what would happen, completely played their butts off in Green Bay with their backup quarterback and rode Derrick Henry into the dirt and won the game. And they played like their playoff lives were on the line, which they were. And Pittsburgh did not, even though they were. They had every opportunity to go out and win this game, and they didn't. And this is a common thread under Mike Tomlin his entire career. In the last 5 years, he is 0-4-1 against teams that have 8 or more losses below 500. That means it would take 8 wins for that team to get back to 500. So these are not only bad teams, these are bad teams that he's losing to late in the year when playoffs are on the line. It was against the 2-10-1 Bengals in 2020. Then 2021, it was the 0-8 Lions. They tied that game. Then in 2023, back-to-back losses against 2-win teams at home in form of the Arizona Cardinals and the New England Patriots. And then finally, this one, the 3-12 Bengals with a division title on the line, and Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers absolutely choke it away. It's blasphemous. It is unbelievably blasphemous. He is the only coach that manages to do this somehow every single year and be utterly, catastrophically disappointed. It's not even a contest. There's no contest for it at this point. Like, I have so many other things I gotta mention just in my notes alone. Like, if they lose to the Baltimore Ravens in the final week of the year, it will be one of the biggest choke jobs by Mike Tomlin I think I've ever seen. And that includes losses to like Blake Bortles. Because again, if you're any team, say you're Seattle or San Francisco or LA, you'd be dying to play in the AFC North. Because Cleveland's bad, Joe Burrow's been out for the year, Baltimore started 1-5 and Lamar's always been hurt, and Pittsburgh is beyond average. There's like the new form of average, mediocre that the Pittsburgh Steelers are. They're the word for mediocrity. You say Steelers, that's the first word that comes into your mind. Mike Tomlin needs to be at least on the hot seat. I don't think he's going to get fired, but I think the reality is there can't be no pressure on him. There just can't. This is embarrassing. Not to mention, we talk about DK Metcalf not being available. Why was he not available? Why was he not available? Very simple. All of the Steelers receivers in the last 6 years have been crash outs. Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant. Dude, like all of them have some sort of antic, whether it's Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, Juju Smith-Schuster, Chase Claypool, George Pickens, now DK Metcalf. It's just not feasible. It's clearly, you can say it's them, you can say it's not them, whatever, but it's clearly something that happens and is allowed in Mike Tomlin's locker room. And there's never any accountability for it from his end. And it's led to the Pittsburgh Steelers just being incredibly insignificant no matter what. In the regular season, they'll always be 9-8. But in the playoffs, you can forget about them. That's where they're at right now. And I can't see it any other way. I can't see it going any other way. Even if they do make the playoffs, they're not beating any of those wild card teams. They're not beating Houston. They're not beating Buffalo. They're not beating the Chargers. It's done. It's done. Just no lack of acknowledging who even their best players are in the form of Freiermuth, in the form of Jonnu Smith. They think MVS is the best wide receiver they have. They think he's the best pass catcher on the field. What about Kenneth Gainwell, who's second on the team in catches? He was non-existent this weekend. I think Mike Tomlin, it has to be penalized. It has to be a talking point. It can't not be a talking point. It needs to be talked about in massive media spaces. And I know what people say. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. I don't care. The grass right now is brown. The grass right now is brown. You got a house. Would you want a house with brown grass? I don't think so. And I think it's brown grass. Maybe the grass needs to get browner for it to get green again. Because right now the grass looks like it's been stepped on, treaded on. And look at teams like the Patriots. Bring in Mike Vrabel. They moved off Gerard Mayo after a season. Not the guy. Mike Vrabel, look at that. He's the guy. They're 13-3. Jacksonville 12-4 with Liam Cohen as new head coach. Chicago 11-5 with Ben Johnson. Good coaches out there exist. There's always going to be a good coach. Pittsburgh's too scared to pull the trigger. Art Rooney, the Rooney family wants to live in mediocrity. That's just where we are right now. Anyway, I gotta say hello to the chat now, as of course we have Aaron Rodgers. Let's give our applause to Aaron Rodgers. Made it out today, ladies and gentlemen. Says, box of shame. Philip, we've been winning because of your heartfelt letter. How you put me in the shame box knowing there was an uncalled pass interference. Put the refs there, not me. Listen, Aaron Rodgers, with all due respect, you threw the ball to MVS 3 different times. Kenneth Gainwell was wide open on that last play. Uncovered. Not even wide open, uncovered. And you didn't even take a second to look around the field. If you'd taken 1 second, you would have seen Kenneth Gainwell wide open in the flat, and at least the game could have gotten to overtime. But you just didn't. Kept throwing it to MVS! Who hasn't really ever been a wide receiver one ever in his career, going up against Denzel Ward, the Browns' best corner. What logical sense? What sense? At the end of the day, it's done. Ain't no way this team doesn't deserve a playoff spot. I don't know what to tell you. And also Mike Tomlin out in the chat. Thank you for making an appearance, Mike Tomlin. Give an applause, Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin saying, your letter was framed on my wall. I tapped it before every game like the Notre Dame sign. But, not no more. Not no more. Haven't had a losing season in how many years? Imagine the reaction then. We could be the Raiders, Giants, or Jets. It could be a lot worse. Right. You're so right. We could be those teams. But the reality is the difference between us and those teams is negligible when neither one is winning a playoff game, Mike. Neither one. This Hall of Fame coaching resume that you've put together, Coach, it's been over a decade. It's been over a decade, and even those 3 games you've won as playoff games in the last 15 years, the best quarterback out of the 3 is Alex Smith. You're outclassed right now. This is just, most coaches would not be given this many second chances. And if I'm a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, if I'm a member of the Rooney family, I'm done giving second chances. There needs to be a sense of accountability. There just isn't right now in the Steelers locker room. It just doesn't exist. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. And listen, you can beat Baltimore. You can beat Baltimore at home for all I care. I don't think you do. I really have a tough time seeing where they're going to beat the Ravens with the way the Ravens came out and played against Green Bay and with the way the Steelers came out and played against them. That's just not okay. Aaron Rodgers saying, I say Kenny, but breaking the huddle, he dropped. Oh, you saw Kenny, but breaking the huddle, he dropped the Browns off in his pants. He has to. Oh, okay. He has to be a decoy. All right. Then I guess Kenny Gainwell can join in the box of shame too. But until I have definitive proof from Kenny Gainwell, then I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do that to him. Regardless, I rant about this team so much. I rant about it way too much while watching this game. I can already feel it in my throat. So I got to get on to the second topic because guess what? It's okay, Mike Tomlin. It's okay, Aaron Rodgers. You're not the only two sharing the box of shame because in box of shame number 2 is none other than Josh Allen in his loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. And let me first say, I will say this. From what I've seen from Josh Allen, and I don't think this team can. Based on what at home, to be down 13-0, for the Philadelphia Eagles offense to get, 1 passing yard out of Jalen Hurts, and to have an opportunity late, which they really, crazily enough, probably shouldn't have had, And to not only miss the throw, but to not even consider just going for one when clearly you had momentum at that point. I just don't understand, if you're the Buffalo Bills, if you're Josh Allen, come on. You gotta win that game in that position, in that situation. And all due credit, they put them in that spot. But it's very clear the Bills are incredibly Josh Allen reliant. They need him to make every play. I know James Cook is great, but in any significant down and distance, whether it is 4th and short or 3rd and 19 or 4th and 19, it could be any down and distance, and if it's significant, they're going to put the ball in the hands of Josh Allen. That to me is what's going to happen. The team is not good enough to do so otherwise. It's either all or nothing on Josh Allen. Josh Allen let him down. He had an awful fumble. He missed the throw at the end to give them the win. He had an open receiver. There's no doubt about that. And listen, if they're going to go on a Herculean run, it's not going to be James Cook or the defense or anything else. It has to be number 17 for the Buffalo Bills. Because I think Sean McDermott isn't up there with the elite of the elite head coaches. I don't think their defense is incredibly impressed because of whether that be due to injury or some other factor. I think Buffalo, unfortunately, has their best chance to win it this year, and they look outclassed by the majority of the AFC. I think Jacksonville right now is better than them. I think Denver, you can make a strong case, is better. I feel like I know they beat New England, but that's pretty much on the fence of who's better there. The only teams they're better than on the AFC side would be the winner of the AFC North and maybe the Chargers. But they have such an uphill battle. The only thing going for them is I think they have the best quarterback in the AFC play overall. But outside of that, they're going to run into issues. They're going to run into trouble. It's just going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. And you saw it today. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, they were everywhere. The Bills' defense, listen, they came good enough in the second half, but the Bills didn't really get going until the fourth quarter. I get that it's raining. I get that it's wet. Allen's played in these similar or worse conditions. I don't see an excuse as that being Let me get into some of these comments we got. Mike Tomlin, if we beat the Ravens, you wear an I Heart Tomlin shirt? I'd have to find one. I'd have to either find one and have it drop shipped and mailed. I'll see if it happens. If they've got it, then I'll consider it. I will consider. If they have it, I'll wear it. I'll wear it for the episode after. Beat the Ravens and get in the play. But I gotta be honest. I have my doubts, Coach. I have my doubts. Marcus made it out. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Marcus, for pulling up. We got Bills are so overrated. A mafia doesn't throw dildos or jump through tables. The absolute mediocrity of fans and embarrassment to anyone named William. Wow, embarrassment to anyone named William. That's, you know what? That's kind of true. Like, okay, I'll say this. As someone who is in upstate New York, I do kind of have like a small soft spot for the Bills, but that just wasn't a good performance. It wasn't good. It's very clear that they are consistently reliant on Josh Allen to generate offense. I think their head coach is honestly one of those guys that's very similar to Tomlin. He can build a culture, but at a certain point, he's just going to start underwhelming you. And again, Buffalo, need I remind you, this is the best chance for you guys to win the whole thing. With how weird and wonky the playoffs have been, you don't win it this year. Imagine when everybody's back. Like if Kansas City rebuilds quickly, if Lamar and Joe Burrow will be back healthy. Lamar will be back, right? Drake May now is in your division and fully shown up. The Texans' defense is good. The AFC will be so much stronger next year than it is this year. You got to take advantage now. And I don't think they're set up to. Move them to the CFL. They'll never win a Super Bowl. That's that reality. I understand it took Peyton Manning till he was 30 to win one. But with the way quarterbacks run so much and the way Josh Allen runs, I don't think Josh is playing as long as Peyton did. I don't know. Especially because look at Lamar. Lamar's already getting banged up at this point in his career. When does Josh Allen start getting banged up? I'm not sure. Got to start winning at some point. If you guys are here, though, I appreciate you guys for popping out. If you could drop the like, drop the comment, drop the little share. That's all. I'm going to get into the next topic, though. I appreciate you guys for showing up. Main topic number 3. So now normally I'm a box of shame guy. I'm everybody's biggest critic because I'm so good at it. But I gotta be able to praise some people too. And the main thing I gotta praise is this man Brock Purdy. Look at this man hitting a Dougie. Look at this man hit a Dougie. The San Francisco 49ers, I think, maybe not the most shocking, but I think by far one of the most impressive. And I think last night was one of the most impressive performances I've seen Brock Purdy have in his entire career with the San Francisco 49ers. Sunday Night Football. You lose this game, you probably don't have a realistic shot at the 1 seed. You just don't have a chance, a real chance at the 1. The San Francisco 49ers, without George Kittle tonight, or last night, 49ers without George Kittle. They were without Trent Williams. They've been down Brandon Ayuk all year. Christian McCaffrey has actually had his lowest yards per carry since joining the 49ers this whole year. They traded away Deebo Samuel in the offseason. And yet, despite all of that, what did Brock Purdy do? Oh yeah, just go beat the Bears after throwing a pick 6 on the first play. This has been one of the most impressive I've seen Brock Purdy. Listen, I've doubted him before, and I will still have my questions. But in terms of being impressive through all the injuries, and that's just the offense. Thinking about no Fred Warner or Nick Bosa on defense for the majority of this year. And yes, Mac Jones has looked good. But last night, you saw the difference between why Brock Purdy got the starting job back and why Mac Jones was the backup. Say what you want about Brock. He and this 49ers team have overcome so much adversity. And they deserve so much credit for it. And it was an incredibly impressive showing to see. As for Chicago, that's a tough loss. But that last night wasn't about them. It's about this 49ers team. And it's now set up a match for them to go grab the 1 seed away from Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks. I am more than intrigued. I am incredibly excited to see what that game ends up turning out like. San Francisco is going to get an opportunity. I believe they get them at home, too. They'll be able to get them at home. It's going to be loud in Santa Clara. 49ers are one of the best fans when it comes to showing up in big games, and it is going to be an interesting one. I'm excited to see it, and I got a lot of respect. I don't have... Kyle Shanahan kind of bums me out, but I think still, based on what I know from what he did in Atlanta, what Brock Purdy done for the San Francisco 49ers, who he is as a quarterback, from where he came from to where he is now. Starting to like you a little bit, Brock. More than I thought I ever could. But it's been, to have that much adversity, to have those many injuries, I have to give a lot of credit to San Francisco and what they've done. And that's why Brock Purdy gets the first ever box of praise. The first ever box of praise, ladies and gentlemen. Love to see that. Absolutely love to see. And speaking of praise and applause, Jay is in the chat as well. Jay, thank you for popping out for the reminder, the final free refill of 2025. Jay says, best primetime game all year. Wasn't anything you can do, I can do better type of game. 100%. And listen, that's saying Kyle Shanahan saying to Ben Johnson, you're the new kid on the block. I've been around and I know how to get things done around here. And listen, and that's why I think I said I would probably take San Francisco in a matchup in the playoffs with the Bears, regardless of home field advantage. And tonight, I like to feel a little vindicated for having that. But I am very impressive showing. Congratulations to the San Francisco 49ers. They will battle. I believe the schedule got released, so that game is going to happen Saturday at 4:30 p.m. the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers will duke it out for what will be the 1 seed. I am, color me excited. I'm just very intrigued to see how that game plays out. We'll see where it goes. But I'm very excited to see what the San Francisco 49ers can do at home against Seattle Seahawks. Listen, Seattle's no slouch either. They've won 13 games and went into Carolina and beat them. Rams can't say that. The Rams went to Carolina and lost. Seattle went into Carolina and beat them handily after, slow start in the first half. I think these are two. I think this will be very. I mean, this game has potential to be better than the 2019 version of this game, which ended at the goal line. Like, that was on the last play of the game, goal line stand. Ooh, I'm excited. And frankly, you all should be. So credit there to Brock Purdy and the 49ers. And Brock Purdy also, player of the day. He gets player of the day, gets box of praise. A lot of big stuff coming from Brock Purdy when he's hitting the Dougie. I like a little bit when Brock Purdy is hitting that Dougie. The next major topic, this back-to-box of shame territory, comes back to, as you know, it's a free refill, so it is just me. But my cohorts, my confidant, my co-host in the other chair, Taff, he is an adamant defender of this man, despite the fact that this man's defense hasn't recorded a single interception all year. Hadn't guessed. Aaron Glenn, New York Jets. And the question I pose is, should the Jets consider firing Aaron Glenn? An article came out that in terms of considering firing Aaron Glenn, Jets said it's not even on our radar. It's not really something we're thinking about. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what they're basically saying. Not something they'd consider. I have to say, I strongly disagree, and I think at some point, you do have to consider whether or not you should keep Aaron Glenn, for a couple reasons. The obvious one is 16 games, 0 interceptions. If you play a 17th game and get 0, that's literally the worst you can get. A defense cannot be any worse than not getting a single interception. I just don't know how. And that's a defensive head coach. It's not an offensive head coach. It's a defensive head coach. Players have looked not bought in. They've been blown out by more than 20 points in I think it's 4 weeks now? They've looked terrible against Jacksonville, against New Orleans, against New England. It doesn't seem to matter. Anybody can move the ball on them. And you now just made a massive trade for a bunch of draft capital. For it, whether you trade that for players or whether you use those picks to draft players, say either you use those picks in a trade or you actually use those picks to select in the draft, I will not feel confident in the move that you make if Aaron Glenn is your head coach. Because I've seen nothing from him to prove to me that he's capable of making these massive decisions for the organization. If you try to swing for the fences for a Burrow or a Lamar Jackson, or if you try to go get your own quarterback, which you can't even realistically get right now because the Raiders have the number 1 pick, I'm not confident in Aaron Glenn to turn it around. Not with Josh Allen and now Drake May, who now dominate the division. I mean, do we feel that Aaron Glenn's the guy? For a guy who's so built up on players buying in and players being a part of the organization, they look checked out against New England. They look checked out against New Orleans. They look checked out against Jacksonville. At a certain point, what are you going to do? I think the Jets should be hiring a head coach like a Mike McCarthy who's actually shown he has had success with the team. I would get a coach who has shown that they are capable and can get a team to being mediocre or average rather than trying to shoot for a guy who thinks you can get to the Super Bowl. Because I got to tell you right now, Aaron Glenn doesn't feel like he's it. He just doesn't feel like a head coach that is capable right now. It just doesn't feel like New York's remotely bought in. The Jets are actually... Remember we thought, last year they were terrible? No, this year they're genuinely worse. You have to bring in somebody who can quiet and level the storm, who can make smart, impactful moves, not just big swings, whether it is drafting a quarterback or going out and getting a big free agent. Because that's the reality. The best moves, the teams that build the best, make small, subtle improving moves. They don't go out and just trade all their picks. They don't go out and just trade up for a quarterback. They make subtle, smart moves. Remember when Jacksonville made the playoffs with Doug Peterson? They made some weird moves. They went out and got Christian Kirk. They went out and got Evan Ingram. They weren't dominant players, but they made subtle, improving moves. Jacksonville, one of the subtlest trades of midseason, trade for Jacoby Myers. And it's been working. It's been a big part of why their team has been able to take that next step. It's not about making a big swing. It's about making subtle improving moves. Look at Green Bay. They made a big swing for Micah Parsons. They're still the 7th seed like they always are. Maybe some of that's due to injury, but that's just a reality. You can't make it all the way to the top just with one big swing. There's too much to predict. You have to be able to account for everything, and you account for more things by making more moves. I think you need to get someone who knows that that's what they need to do, and I'm not sure Aaron Glenn, that's what needs to happen. Mark is saying, Aaron Glenn looks like my one uncle, and once he's fired, he will look like my other uncle who got divorced, alcoholic, and now can't even have a car. You know what's on the bright side? As much as I agree with that statement, you know on the bright side, at least he's smiling in this photo. Like, he looks like he's like he might not be happy, but at least he's putting on a smile. He's like, it's like when you have to deal with, like, in, like, let's say customer service, and you have to deal with someone who's being, like, really obnoxious, and all you can do is smile, like. I gotta say, look, with all due, the way I see it, Aaron Glenn needs to go. Nothing else that can be done. I think this is not something that will last long. Moving on. Talked enough about the Jets. We all know that the Jets are bad, but I just needed to emphasize, listen, I don't know what arguments people want to make for Aaron Glenn. I'm not going to make them. Moving on, I want to get into, we talk about a lot of the games this offseason, and we'll get to maybe like a little roundtable discussion at the very end. But I do want to talk a little bit about tonight's Monday Night Football and the second box of praise. Yes, there's two. How exciting is that? Look at Phil. I feel like Santa. I feel like I'm giving out little gifts. Give out little presents. Little bonus Christmas gifts to some of these players. Matthew Stafford gets my box of praise as the Falcons will be taking on the Rams. Listen, I got a couple things to say. The first major thing being listen. The first major thing being this. Falcons, your season hasn't gone the way it is. I am sorry. Drake London hasn't been healthy. Michael Penix hasn't been healthy. Bijan's been great. Kyle Pitt's been underrated, but he'll probably go get paid somewhere. I will say this for Atlanta. I think what Atlanta fans, and I'll say this, I think Atlanta fans should be hoping that Matthew Stafford locks up MVP. That would be my take. If I'm a Falcons fan and I really want Raheem Morris out of there, as a Falcons fan, I'm saying, Matthew Stafford, hey, go win the MVP tonight. Go put Raheem Morris's defense on blast. Let me say this, if Matthew Stafford plays so well tonight that Raheem Morris is fired before the end of the day tomorrow, then Stafford's the MVP. It's just, that's the absolute highest level of gotcha, disrespect, get out of my face, I'm the MVP. And I still will say, I think Matthew Stafford is the MVP. I've been saying it all year. I know a lot of people want to give it to Drake May, and I get it. I really do. I understand what he's done for the New England Patriots organization. I understand the crazy turnaround from one season to another. But there is a certain truth here. There is a truth here, and I'm gonna kind of praise it. And I'm not even gonna bring up the Patriots' week schedule. That's not what I need. No. Let me explain why Stafford's the MVP. This Rams team made it to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff and lost. And I'm gonna say this right now: if they stayed with Jared Goff, they never would have been where they are now. Sean McVay, I think, would have eventually gone into coaching, kept Jared Goff for too long, and they ultimately would have sunk and plummeted. What has elevated Sean McVay to a Super Bowl. What has elevated the Rams to being as good as they are is Matthew Stafford. Listen, it is Matthew Stafford. And people want to talk about, oh, it's the biggest win-win trade in history. No, it isn't. There's a clear winner, and there's a team that didn't lose by that much. But there's a clear winner to the trade. It's the LA Rams. It's the team that won a Super Bowl. It's the team that right now has an MVP caliber quarterback. That team's the winner. And especially after this season with what has happened with the Lions, it's the obvious winner. And I've seen this Rams team without Matthew Stafford. Back in 2022, when Stafford was hurt and banged up and couldn't play and was not healthy, we saw a team with Aaron Donald, a team with Jalen Ramsey, a team with so many other star players, a team still being coached by Sean McVay, 5 wins. 5-12 coming off of a Super Bowl. So I know we want to talk about, oh, he's got way more talent than Drake May. Sure. But without Stafford, this team's barely better than the Cardinals. Stafford is that. Stafford, the MVP of the league. And dare I say, he's also doing all this production without the ability to really run. You've seen Matt Stafford scramble for a first down this year? Maybe once or twice. I've seen Drake May do it a lot more. Drake May has an added benefit of athleticism, and Stafford is still out producing him despite not having them. Drake May threw 5 touchdowns against the Jets, and Stafford did it against the Jaguars. And the Jaguars look in position to win the AFC South. Just a reminder. Matthew Stafford is most likely the MVP. Falcons fans are lucky. He sews it up tonight. Raheem Morris, we get a little notification that says Falcons will have fire Raheem Morris around 2:20 p.m. in the afternoon. The Falcons fans are lucky. They're not usually. Not known for being lucky. But if they're lucky, that's what they're getting. And for me, I have the Rams winning this game. I don't think it's difficult. I don't think it's challenging. I don't see it. Should be the LA Rams going to Atlanta and winning. Still trying to keep pace for the division. It doesn't look like it's going to happen because obviously, we have the battle for the 1 seed. I don't think it's mathematically possible for the Rams. But it would be an incredible career for Matt. And I would say this too. If Stafford gets that MVP, give him his gold jacket. He's going to be up there with the guys who we think are Hall of Famers in terms of numbers. Yeah, Stafford's getting his jacket. It is what it is. Even is what it is. I'm glad it is what it is. Deserves it. Outside of that, those were the... it's a little early, but it was still 22 minutes. Wow, dang. I didn't run through... I thought I actually got through those faster than I thought. I'm actually curious to hear from you guys now. I kind of want to hear what you guys have in terms of any sort of last-minute takes, any highlights that I may have missed. In terms of, what did I see? There are a couple things that I know I missed that I could still talk about in this, but I'm just going to kind of rant a little bit about stuff. Go ahead, run it up in the comments. Let me know what things I missed. Let me know what things you want me to comment on. I know there are a couple things in the back of my mind that I'll comment on regardless, but I didn't want to kind of chat about what's next, I guess, also for Primetime with Taff and Phil. So, first off, I want to say thank you guys to tuning in at any point that you guys have this year, whether that's been tonight for the first time, whether that's been for the last few months or the year. Taff and I greatly appreciate it. It's really awesome to know that we've got people who are willing to watch and so much more opportunity to grow the community that we do have. So, it's very cool to be able to see that. That's number one. Number two, I got a lot of big plans and I got a lot of big goals for the channel going forward. I think there are some ideas that are just permutating in the back of my mind in terms of where I want to see this channel go, kind of things I want to do, what kind of plans. I mean, I've got things. I want to have more interviews, 100% or something I want to do, especially in the off season. I'd love to have, more general content up on this channel or on any of our other secondary channels as well. That's something that I really want to well. And just kind of like sort of expanding too, because I know we do talk a lot of NFL here, and we try to get basketball in lately, especially just because NFL season. I am the NFL fanatic channel. It's been a lot of that. So expanding into baseball, into hockey, and the other sports that we don't really get the chance to talk about as much, even though we do still like watching it. Just we get to know like more about it and things. Overall, I think it's going to be it's going to be a big year. It's going to be a big year. I have a lot of big things planned, and I've got a lot of things just written down in my notes where I'm like, these are goals that I want us to hit by the end of 2026. We'll have 365 days to be able to accomplish them, and I think there is a lot of opportunity for us to be able to do that. That's pretty much all I have in terms of regards with that. And then again, of course, you guys are a part of this too. You guys have always wanted to see if there's ever anything that you guys want us to do. Of course, we're do it. I think at the start of this year, for example, probably do our award shows, who we think the awards, who playoff teams are going to look like, who we think the strongest and the weakest teams postseason. I've also thought about like doing some other smaller like niche ideas, maybe like full length videos. If I get them all together, like I might spend more weekends just full blown editing, and because I did get an actual legitimate editing, should be able to give me some more options, more opportunities there. So get some more stuff up just for you guys, because I know you guys tune in. We're able to be here, so I figured why not give you guys more of what you want, more prime time, baby. And I really do. I'm gonna. I know I've been talking about the cards and getting them signed. That's one thing I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna try to interview all those players too. I think that's gonna be one of my biggest goals. Try to get as many of those people. I think it'd be tough to get like 300. I think there's like 400 cards in there, but to be able to check them off some of the list would be very sweet for me. And just getting more contacts, more people involved about the channel, and knowing what's what, and knowing that we're around. So very exciting stuff. So that's just kind of where we're at. I just do know that I want the channel to keep going. I think I enjoy doing it. It's been something that I just want to keep growing and kind of learning new things about it. And it's sometimes difficult to balance, but overall, it's something that I think I'm very capable of. That's what I'm very excited for. Jay, if the Falcons win, you have to go to sketchy publicity. just ask for the GOAT, and what if they say like, oh, I don't know what that is, and then be like, I know you have. They just feed you whatever. Gosh. Jay, I do have a shrimp allergy. If there's somehow shrimp mixed up in that GOAT, we're gonna have a problem. I don't know if it would happen, but I would. Giants doing what Giants do, winning the meaningless games, playing like contenders, except the first pick. That was actually something I wanted to commentate on. I did think the Giants were going to win. I thought they were just more talented than the Raiders. But them losing that pick drastically changes the way the draft is going to go. I don't think it's awful that the Giants didn't get the number 1 overall pick. I mean, I know they didn't get it again last, like, back-to-back years, which they could have had, which kind of sucks. But at least now I think they do have like a decent quarterback in play. They do have talent. They just need I keep saying like every year, like, oh, they just need one more piece. But I do genuinely think if the Giants can get a good coach, they could easily be one of the better teams next year if things go accordingly. I also kind of wanted the Giants to win. Just because it would have been funny to see, like, because I know a lot of Jets fans that are like watching this tank are like, we're gonna get Mendoza, and then like but they have to leapfrog the Raiders. It just doesn't look like that's gonna happen, especially now. Like Browns and Giants both win, and the Raiders are just 1 pick ahead of them. Like it'll be interesting to see if what the Jets would have to pay to leapfrog the Raiders. It'll certainly be fascinating. Baseball as well. Let's go. Yeah, I really, when it comes to baseball, I'm 2 fans. I am more of a Yankees guy because I was a Yankees kid when I was little, and I used to live in New York City. But honestly, I do kind of have a thing for the Pirates because, of course, when I'm a Pittsburgh fan, I also just picked the team Pittsburgh as a baseball team as well. And then, oh my God, Roberto Clemente as well, just because of my mom's Puerto Rican descent. Also, one of cousins, Danny, is a big Roberto Clemente fan as well. I did see, so I'm very I don't know, sort of like because I got to actually go to Pittsburgh and take a picture in front of the statue that's right there, right outside the Pirates Stadium. I'm excited. I would definitely want to get more into baseball. It's not like it's not as easy. Like especially like I'll tell you what, I really do, especially because of the World Series. Like that was one of the best World Series I've ever seen. I was watching that. I was at the casino. I want to say it was like late. We were wrapping up. I think we played a few rounds of almost played a few rounds of blackjack because it was my friend's birthday, and we were just watching the Dodgers from the game and was like, wow. Like the catch, the insane catch over the top, like to crash into each other right there, dude. That would be wild. It made me so happy. Then it was would love some reaction videos to bloopers you keep plays would be cool. I'd like to do that too. I'd have to I definitely have to record a lot, and like I would have to record myself watching games. I have to probably pick. It means I'm probably not going to watch as much Red Zone, which I'd be totally okay with. Honestly, I'm down to do that for the playoffs. I'll probably just record myself watching the whole game, and then I think that's what I would have to do. Is I would have to probably record and then record the game. Because like I'm probably just going to pull the clip. I don't know how people do that. I've seen people react to the game. The thing is, I've seen people, like, okay, this is how I say it. I've seen people react to the game, but it's very difficult because I'll see people and I'm like, man, that doesn't seem. I want mine to be like genuine, right? So I'll have to like record the game and myself, but I can say this, I'll probably do it for sure for Steelers Ravens. And then like I'll definitely do it at least for that, or I'll try. Actually, let me get like a trial run. I think I'll trial run week 18, like Saturday, to react to those because I know those are big games. So 100%, I think I would do that kind of trial run, see what I need to test, and then I could definitely get some reaction clips up either Instagram, TikTok, and then I don't know how much they'll let me put on YouTube, but I could definitely see that as being possible. But that's always something I've had. It's one of the ideas I have had in the back of my mind. Just I think execution is how I'm gonna. We'll see where it ends up going, but 100% like reaction videos. I'd be so, especially live too. Like if I get them live as like not live like recorded like, but like live. Like I guess live when I watch them and then record it and then make a clip and then be like, bang, this was my reaction, like something like that. Then oh dude, if you want one of those Clemente box, let me know. I'd actually love a Roberto Clemente. That'd be pretty cool, honestly. Like I would also like at some point I gotta get I want to get something better than just a box for this. I know it's like kind of works, but I think like I do have like, and not that I don't have like binders. I usually have like binders fill up with cards. That's never, but definitely something that I want to get more content done. Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing is just with work, it can be difficult to come home from work, exhausted. I'm like, yeah, let's go, and then actually editing is. I enjoy it, but it's only like it's difficult because I've already worked all day and now I'm coming home. I want it to. It's not that it feels like work. It's like, I don't even know. I'll be trying to do that, but I definitely do want to get a lot of that stuff done. Coming up in the next, I really want to get kickstarted in January. I feel like if I get a process down by end of January, like mid-February, definitely have a lot more of that to out and keep pumping it out. Just remember, reaction videos and such are not bringing copyright. Awesome. I am very excited that they don't, Marcus. I'm hoping that because I've had certain I've had some stuff that I've been able to make, and Instagram and TikTok won't really care, whereas YouTube is definitely a lot stricter in terms of reaction content. Not even reaction content, just depending on what clips you use. So you do have to be very specific to catch those. Definitely going to run some. I'll definitely in early January be running a lot of testing, especially. I think week 18 will be a great place to start, especially Saturday, because I can just react to that, with some of that, and I would be very excited for that. Get some of that out there. Outside of that, I don't know. I'll have more ideas. I don't want to reveal everything before the new year starts. I guess. Just want to get into a brainstorm. I figured this would be a good time to do it since week 17 is like a kind of like some things I wanted to talk about, but I didn't think it would cover the whole hour. So I figured it would be get me going, and that's kind of where. Yeah, I just let me know. I opened up a bunch of Topps Archives. Want to collect the series? Got a bunch of boxes. I would love to have a little Roberto box. I get you. We can talk about it after the stream. Get that set up for sure. That'd be awesome. Man, I know my cousin. Well, she's my mom's cousin. Got seeing. They literally they had their own podcast. I don't know if they still do it. They had like their own little logo design. So, kind of being the section of the wrote a lot of different art. Very, very awesome too. Let's go 2026, the year of prime time. Yes, it is. This is going to be a big year, is what I'm hoping. I've got some goals. I'm going to let y'all know the goals probably in the first free refill of 2026. As of right now, is set up to be New Year's Day, January 1st. That is subject to change, by the way. That is potentially subject to change. I didn't also include Primetime with Taff and Phil because that's also subject to change. So as of just because New Year's Day, I still got a lot of family around, so I do want to be able to spend time with them, of course. Once when we start really rolling in the deep, it's gonna get. I had the hiccup. But anyway, thank you so much, guys. I'm probably gonna wrap it up a little bit early. I can smell pizza and right now. Family's out. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys, of course, for tuning in, for liking, for commenting, for discussing sports with me. I am so excited. Subject to hangover. Yeah, I mean, it happens. It's definitely definitely for New Year's. Well, I mean, New Year's Day won't probably be till later in the day for me at least. For Tuesday, I have work tomorrow. So I'm not gonna be able to just party all day Monday night. But I do, again, as I was saying, I just appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in, liking and subscribing and sharing and all that good stuff. I want to get some food in me, but until next time, whether that be sometime earlier this year in the next 2 days or at the beginning of 2026, I want to wish you guys a happy new year. I want to wish you guys the best in this new coming year, whatever you set out to do this year, whatever your resolutions. I hope you guys are able to hit them and be able to maintain them and keep them, and just enjoy and have a great 2026. I'm hoping for the same for myself, so I hope it's all the same for you guys. Appreciate you guys again. I am heading out. This has been Free Refill with Philip White. Thank you guys. See you guys next time. Peace, guys.